All right, so welcome back. It's been a little while since we put a video up. I've been just kind of plugging away on other stuff. So this video is nothing too crazy or exciting, except for the fact that we get to take the small block out, and we're gonna get the big block ready for it. Well, we won't pull the engine, but we got to get our big block ready to go in to the 72. So that's good. The thing that sucks is I was gonna just run it with the small block for a while, but as you'll see in the video, it has some issues that are easily remedied, but I didn't want to spend the money to do that. So instead of doing that, we are just gonna go ahead and put the big block in there and see what happens next. So yeah, just tag along and watch if you'd like. Yeah, there's that gelling. That is real strange. Oh, what's going on with this intake here? Wow, that intake is not liking whatever this is. This has got to be some kind of reaction. Oh man, what? Look at this. I'm not spending any more money on this thing, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Look at that. It's like just ate up. Wow, that's crazy. What in the funk is that all about? Yeah, it's like whatever this that was on here or in here is eaten up. Oh, there we go. There's a hole in the coolant passage now. That's weird. So yeah, it was on its way out. Small amount that bled through there, and this is some kind of reaction. What do we do now? I'm not putting an intake on here. Oh, this sucks. It's gonna wrap up the small block series of videos, I think. So we should probably just get prepared to pull the engine out and put the big block in. This thing ran good, didn't smoke, so that's a plus. Valve cover gaskets, oil pan gasket, front and rear main seals, I'm sure. Might as well get a water pump. Probably want to get a better intake. This old spreadboard quadrajet intake sucks. No one likes a quadrajet intake unless they're running a quadrajet. We won't be running a quadrajet. We'll be putting a sniper on there. Well, shizen. Okay, welp. Guess I'm gonna get on the computer and start ordering some parts. And we'll be back. For one, I need to clean the shop, but I gotta take advantage of a warm day while I got it. And we're gonna take the big block outside, hose it down with a bunch of degreaser and get soaking wet, get her cleaned up. Just old stock smoggy big block, but it ought to move better than a stock smoggy 350, so you know that's a plus. Just got done pulling the accessories off. Those are aggravating. All the bolts are different fucking sizes. You got a 15 millimeter, a 14 millimeter, or a 17 millimeter, 19 millimeter on this thing, you know, 12 here, whatever. I don't understand. All right, I'm gonna pull it outside. Plan is just to clean it up, fix oil leaks, replace all the gaskets and all that stuff, and I'll probably pull the transmission. It's covered in crap right now, but pull it out too and go ahead and pressure wash it. Old turbo 400. Alright, well, while that marinates, I'm gonna go get another SD card and another battery, I guess. Yeah, and pull the transmission out so we can get it soaking too. Alright, let's move this loud son of a gun over to the other side of the shop. Can't wait to have power steering. I know that much. she's back in here on the other side of the shop. We can get ready to do our big block swap. Here we go. Big block. Might put a little cam in it. I don't know. You know, I'm trying to decide. I know I said earlier probably not, but it's just hard not to do that. Figure out what I'm gonna do with the for intake. Probably the Weand intake. They make one for these peanut port heads, so I'll probably just do that. Intake, cam, lifters, gaskets, and cinder. We will be back and start working on that here shortly. Now we'll pull the exhaust manifolds off first. So yeah, look at this crap. I do like this heavy duty engine stand because there's room for you to put something down there to hold your drain pan. As much as they take more room up in your shop, this is probably what I'm going to go with in the future. Is just next time I'm going to buy an engine stand, I'm going to buy this with the split legs. I'll probably put an oil cooler back on it, although I don't know if it's necessary since I won't be towing with this truck. It doesn't hurt. It's got the provisions for it, so might as well put one back on, right? I can probably get one from Tony, from a square body one. Get this other drain pan here. What I tell you? Well, coming out of the water pump ports. This thing holds a lot of coolant, man. If you're not making a mess, you ain't working, you know what I'm saying? Alright. I think they're metric, but whatever. A 1/4 inch hex head will work. Have to put that in the old parts washer and let her get cleaned up. Take this adapter off. I'm not going to need 2 oil pressure setting unit pieces. One was for a light, which the 72 does not have a light to tell me that. I don't think it does. It might. I guess anything's possible. Boy, that's nice and rounded off. Yeah, it does. It's fine. Oh, well, shit. Now we're going to tap that brass out of there. That's. You know what? We'll just do that now. Otherwise, I'll forget and be annoyed. Luckily, it's stupid soft brass, so you can ease it out. There we go. This is a little bit of an overkill extension, but that's fine. Oh, that one's got 12. Okay. Yep, an 11mm or 7/16 inch. See what we're working with here. She's ever been gotten into. Eventually, yes, it's all original. Look inside of that oil pan there. It actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's some crud in there, but nothing too alarming, so that's always a plus. Someone has done something to this engine because I don't think the manufacturer was writing the numbers on the pistons. I could be wrong, but I don't think they did that. And that piston looks different than the other ones. See this piston here? It's got a number 7 on it. But that doesn't seem like it would. That's not the 7th piston. And that piston, you notice it's got no oil things there. Why? Do any of the other ones look like that? Oh, that one's soaking in oil, so it's hard to tell. Strange. Here's number 5. That's number 7. 8. 3, 1. Okay, those stamps match those ones. I'm gonna have to look at this. Because that piston does not match the other ones. I guess I need to pull a spark plug out and we can look at the top of the piston, see if it's been punched out. Let's turn it over and see if there's any more of them that look like that. None of the other pistons look like that. So that's interesting. Let's see what we can see. See cylinder wall cross hatching marks. So that's good. I don't see any number stamped on that piston, do you? There's a valve relief. Are you supposed to have a valve relief? I don't know. I guess so, maybe. Let's pull another plug. See what it says. Oh, piston's right there, ain't it? I don't see anything on that one. Yeah, I don't see any marking on there showing that that's been bored or anything. But someone has definitely replaced at least one piston in this, which is strange. I mean, I say that, but it's odd. This one's got a bunch of oil on it. Let's see how good these rings are on that on this cylinder over here. Is that number 7? Actually, number 7. Lucky number 11. There's something punched or stamped in that cylinder at the top of that piston there. I don't know if it's like just casting marks or what. Yeah, I think they're just casting marks. Valve relief there. A little oil running down, but that's nothing too crazy. The cylinder wall on this one, can't really see anything. Oh, I still see some cross hatching, actually. That's a good sign. Alright. I think we got a winner chicken dinner here. Oh yeah, we have a 2-bolt main. So, there's that, you know. Alright, we'll continue on with the big block crap. Broke these bolts loose. We can at least kind of get a peek at the main bearings because we got to replace this rear main anyway, rear main seal. So we can pull this main cap off and look at that. I took the oil pump off already. There's an oil pump here and there's a shaft that goes to your distributor. But we will have to get, the shaft has this thing around it that broke. It's like a sleeve deal. It's a plastic sleeve thing. That was around the shaft of the oil pump. The distributor oil pump drive distributor majig. So we'll just get a new one of those shafts, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, there's a bearing there. It's gotten hot. I don't know if you can see that little hot spot there. It's probably fine. Come on, man. Come on, get out of there. Dirt, no one likes you. Dirt, we don't want you around. There it goes. It just needs a little more motivation. Just a wee bit more motivation to get on out of there. Little baby chinel locks, slip joints. Let's see. I doubt it's the original one, but there it is. It's part of it. The other part's still on the main cap. There's nothing too crazy to see. I just wanted to show you how to get that rear main seal out and kind of let y'all see the condition of the bearings. The crank looks good though, from what I can tell by looking at it with the untrained eye. I don't feel anything crazy. It's probably fine. So, all right, we'll be back when we're doing something. Man, whenever I put the rear main seal back in, we'll come back. So, here in a few minutes, we'll be back. We're back at it. Serena got me some shirts. Pretty cool retro design. Kind of like a Dr. Pepper, playing a Dr. Pepper, I'm a Pepper thing. You know, I kind of thought that up one day, and then lo and behold, she surprised me, and her and her sister, you know, kind of designed it, and then she ordered some for me. So, heck yeah. I have not worn any because I feel like I'm going to ruin them pretty quick because they're very bright red. So, anyway, what we're doing today, working on the old big block again, finally. Let's get this intake pulled off of here and everything and kind of see what we're working with. I got a new intake for it. I got a new cam coming and valve springs, lifters. We're not going to touch the bottom end. Still trying to debate. We'll kind of figure out today if we're going to pull the heads off. So Their thermostat, I think we talked about this last time I was working with someone, just decided they didn't need the thermostat, so I don't know why. Maybe it ran hot. Okay, see if we can get to the rest of these ones. Ordered a Howard's cams, Rattler, so we'll make all the noise and none of the power. Although it's better than the like Mother Thumpa cams people put. It does make more power than that. So that should be pretty sweet. Sound pretty good. Yeah, I hadn't decided if it'll be easier to take the heads off to do the valve springs or leave them on there. It'll probably be easier to take the heads off and do it, so we may just pull them off. Alright, heavy cast iron intake. Nice piece of scrap metal right there, huh? Smog era cast iron intake. Whew. I don't advise prying on your intake surface of your head, so don't do that. Holy shit! I don't know if this engine's kind of been into at some point. I don't know to what extent, but it looks pretty clean. There's not like a bunch of tarnish and buildup and everything, so that's always a good sign. Not bad. Cam looks good. No weird wear marks or anything from what I can tell. Alright, one thing I want to do is try to line up the timing marks. At least get the crank where it's supposed to be. That's pretty close. That way we can pull the cam gear off. Kind of getting ahead of ourselves there, huh? But that's okay. It's kind of my style. Get ahead of myself. Looks good in there. Looks pretty good. Looking pretty good. I don't remember it leaking out of the valve covers at least, so there's that. We got new valve covers, yeah. Get all these exhaust manifold bolts off, I guess. Probably should replace those. Oh boy, is it gonna start raining again? Hopefully not. I'm tired of that. A little tiny bit of sludge on like some of the springs and stuff, but overall, not bad. Might as well just knock these rocker arms loose. Let's see what we should do here. I don't really think it matters which one went where as far as the rocker arms go, because we're going to have, well, we had the same valves, but not a whole lot of wear. Nothing abnormal. As far as my untrained eye can see, exhaust ones are longer than intake push rods, just FYI. Just get down in there. There you go. Got a little box here for the push rods. We'll look at them and see if we can reuse them. I'm sure we can reuse them. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to, but depends on how much new ones cost, I suppose. But I went ahead and labeled it, you know, driver's front. That's the front, that's the driver's side, that's passenger side. And we can go ahead and just cram them in here. Not that it matters, it'll have different lifters, so it's not like they've got a wear pattern built into them that'll match whatever is in here, other than the rocker arm, but that doesn't matter. Rocker arm don't care that much. Do wonder if I got room to just go ahead and stick the rocker arms on these push rods to hold, to kind of mark their place. Yeah, that might work. Why not, right? For the simple task of breaking it down, this will work for now, and then I'll go ahead and do something a little more permanent. All right, so if I pull the heads off or not, I cannot find my valve spring compressor, so I had to order one. It should be here tomorrow. So, you know, we're gonna stop here for the night. All right, see about getting this camshaft and lifters out of here, because we don't need that anymore. We got a new camshaft and some new lifters. They came in today. So we'll just go ahead and pull this weird ass thing off. Makes it quieter. Sure. Whatever you say, General Motors. Yeah, we can look at those cam bearings, see how those look. They're a little slippery. They look good though. Man, see that? Shoot, go ahead and just reuse them. No, don't do it? Okay. Yeah, we'll be back in a minute once I get the cam out. All right, got the cam out. You know, looks like an old cam. Ends of the lobes are a little worn, but what do you expect? I guess tomorrow that we can at least do the valve springs, or to get the tool to a valve spring compressor, because I don't know where the hell mine went. So we can do valve springs and valve stem seals. So that's exciting. Anyway, all right, we'll be back tomorrow. All right, let's see if we can't get these valve springs changed out without pulling the heads. I've got a inexpensive valve spring compressor that threads onto the studs for the rocker arm. Hadn't been able to work on this for a few weeks. I've been actually, it feels like working on everything else, but I did some cleaning up in the shop. I still have random shit everywhere, but all the work surfaces are clean. Even the tops of the toolboxes are all clean. So, yep. Take a gander, see what we're dicking with here. All right, so the valve springs I'm going with are made by Howard, same people that made the cam. There's your part number there. Got these from Summit. So let's get the piston up to top dead center. Let's see how this new tool works for the valve spring. If the valve drops down in there, I can put air and probably, well, for one, the stem will be there after I get the spring off anyhow, so we can blow it out. So this threads onto the stud here. There it goes. Tighten this jam nut or whatever down. Let's see how this, if this will work. I think I'm doing it right. Yeah. All right. Let's get a magnet so we can get these retainers out. This screwdriver might have a strong enough magnet. Let's see if it pushes down far enough to get the dude out of there. The new valve springs come with new locks, keepers, whatever you want to call them. Oh shit, that was a bad idea, dumbass. God dang it. Get a little bit bigger screwdriver here. Maybe I need to go down with this a little more. Maybe it needs a thread on, or this needs to go down. Can't back it off too much, you'll not have any threads, but see about now. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Valve stem seal is super soft still. Wow, someone must have done this at some point. Like, usually these things are busting right off. I don't know, maybe someone's refreshed this motor before, because it didn't burn any oil. It hardly had any leaks or anything, really, honestly, other than hoses and whatnot. But yeah, that is super pliable. Wow. We can compare it to our new Velcro one now. All I know is that's a nice valve stem seal. All right, let's open up our springs over here. Here's the new valve block keepers. I don't know what the fuck they're called. It's a new valve spring. It's got a dual spring for a higher lift. Since we already bought new valve stem seals, we'll go ahead and put those on, maybe. Shit. All right. I feel like I need to take some of this bend out of this because it's just pushing the back of the valve spring, and it's not, you know, it's catching the thing. So, all right, nothing like modifying new stuff. Here, we'll try it that way. It seems pretty pliable, so I guess if we have to bend it back, we can do that. All right, let's try this now. Okay, there we go. New valve spring, new valve stem seal. All right, I guess I don't know if I was just doing it wrong, but I figured out a much more effective way to use this tool. I guess probably the right way, but it doesn't come with any instructions. And I'm not gonna watch another person do it on YouTube, right? I gotta figure it out myself. So, facing it this way where you're pushing down toward the valve, definitely, or toward the spring, definitely seems to work better. Sometimes you gotta give it a little tap-a-rooney. That was a lot easier to get it out, so we will see how much easier it is to get it back in too. Yeah, the intake side valve stem seals are definitely in better shape than the exhaust ones. Exhaust ones are cracked, I'm guessing from the heat. Yeah, I see people like talk about sticking rope in the cylinders and all that crap. That is just way too much work. Just put the piston at top dead center. I mean, I don't know. Crazy concept. Obviously, it's much easier to do this outside of the vehicle, but you can do this in the truck or car or whatever. You can do it in the motor home, whatever your big block is in, or small block. This is actually threaded for small block studs as well. This is not made of any nice fancy metal or anything, so it bends and flexes. It is what it is. I'm sure someone makes a much nicer one out there. Here we go. I have to bounce. Come on. Oh, this wouldn't take so long if I wasn't a fumble finger. There we go. Anyway, all right, so do it that way, not the way I initially showed you. All right, so here is the cam we're going with. It's a Howard's Rattler, like a rattlesnake. Anyway, it's supposed to be a real noisy cam. You know, I think there's, you know, what's called poser cams out there or whatever. This is not really a poser cam because it actually makes power on top of being noisy, so that's what we're shooting for. Anyway, that's why we replaced the valve springs, because it's got a higher lift. I don't know if the specs are on here. The lift intake lift is 544, exhaust 553, lobe separation angle 109. I think it's actually in between these. It's like a 107, I think is what the LSA is. Anyway, it should be nice and choppy. Let's see if we can't put this in here without fucking something up. Got some Molly lube. I'm gonna hit all the bearings with. They give you some lube or whatever, but I'm gonna try to save much of that lube for the actual lifters. So we'll hit this down in there. This stuff's great. And it works really good because it's like a, I don't know if you ever use white lithium grease. White lithium grease kind of like thickens up as it dries, and this kind of does the same thing. I do not have a cam installer handle thing, so this is my solution. We've got some 5/16 bolts, some like long 5/16 bolts. See, so you can kind of get a grip on the back of it once you get it in there. This is always a pain. Stabbing a cam is not fun. Anywho, let's get that lube they give you. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on the actual bearing surfaces, because that's not what's really important. The bearing surfaces are important, but not as important as the lobes. That's what really will, you know, give you a problem. This is what they gave me with the cam, so I guess this is what they want you to use if you can get it out of the tube. And like I said, we got our lifter soaking now. Cannot have too much lubrication on this shit. That's just all there is to it. I'm gonna save a little bit of this, so whenever I put the lifters in, I can dab it on the ends of the lift, or on the lifters, you know, before they go in there. Luckily, the bearings are pretty forgiving, because the bearings are softer than the cam. That's all there is to it. The bearings will clearance as the cam spins around. Okay, cam is in. Bearings look great. I can see them from here. They look fantastic. I wasn't real rough on it. The only other way to do it without being rough on it is with the crank and the rotating cymbal removed. Otherwise, you just can't get in there well enough to do that, you know? I'm reusing the stock push rods because they were fine. So I'm gonna go clean all of them, and then once I'll get those all cleaned, then we'll come back and we'll start putting lifters in and all that fun stuff. So we'll be back. All right, we're gonna put these lifters in here. They've been soaking in oil. They're in a little thing, but this is the thing. I cleaned this tray that I came in so we could grab them, because they're slipperier than dog shit, if we're being fair. Put you a little bit of that on there. Drop it down in there, not like literally drop it. Put it in there. There you go. This is the same lube we put all over the cam. Alright. Lifters are installed. I'll go ahead and get this timing gear off of this crank. My little junky thing here. That wasn't too terrible. That's the part number. Double roller time set C-3024K. Very affordable timing gear set. Made in USA. Obviously you've got a timing mark here, and that's where you want it to be. Lock it on. We're in there now. In like flint. Timing marks. I need to turn the crank to get the timing mark there in the middle to match this timing mark. Use the old bolt. Probably have to fiddle with it anyway. You can kind of get your thing where you want it. Just mock align it before you put the chain on. I should probably get the bolts for the cam, huh? Alright, so I didn't hit record whenever I was putting the timing gear on. So there's that. You have two timing marks here. They gotta line up. You gotta kind of fiddle with it to get it lined up. You gotta get your cam obviously in place, and then once you get it on there, run your rotation around and make sure it's still lined up. So I found another method. This guy does it basically just starts tightening this shit down. Alright, it's getting tight, getting tighter. Just jiggles them up and down. Alright. Now mine have oil in them, so it made me get a little more difficult to do this. I may have to do it more than once. But yep, there we go. Okay. Alright, most people have worked on small block Chevys and big block Chevys probably know this, but for your intake gaskets, what's called the China wall, you don't use the gasket that comes with it. You put silicone on there. The only silicone to use is RTV Ultra Black. That means it's like gonna be the best stuff ever because it's ultra. Just get it down in there nice and deep black. Nice thick bead. Ignore that chaos in the back. Just my brother getting frustrated working on a Ford. That's alright. We have a welder day. You want to get in that corner nice and deep like too. On your water jacket here, just put you a little bead around that. Nothing too crazy, but it also holds the gasket in place when you're setting the intake down. And there you go. See, this little ridgy side goes to the intake. Like I said, that silicone will hold the gasket in place too. And then once you put that on there, you kind of want to dab it over to your gasket at the corner there. It's gonna really pook out in the front there because I've kind of got thick with it. We might put a little bit on there. You don't want the water leaking into your valley. Don't want water mixed with oil. Alright, brand used bolts. Alright, we'll drop our new intake manifold on here. I got a Weand Track Warrior, probably a little overkill for a low compression big block, but it was on sale, or it was at Summit in their clearance section. I should have bought some bolts too, but this is a budget build, alright? Anyway, this is pretty much it. Just don't use the gaskets that come with the intake kit for the front and rear, because those suck. Alright, back to engine kind of assembly. I put the rear main in there. Rear main seal is a 2-piece. Pushed in there real easily. So there's that. That's a plus. You want to put a little bit of silicone here where they meet, because obviously 2-piece. So you want the silicone to actually stick. This crank has a mark there, so I'm not going to be surprised if it still leaks the rear main. They'd probably make something for that, a sleeve or something, I don't know. Probably would have been easier to put it on the cap, but we didn't do that, so this is where we're at. You gotta, it pushes up in there and it should be pretty good at compressing against the other one. The other surface there. Once you torque it down, you want to make sure your main cap is down in the little slot of the block. According to the Chilton manual, it wants it 110 pounds, but I'll probably go a little more than that, just because I'm using the factory bolts. And I put some lube on that bearing, some of that engine assembly lube, poly lube. These are 13/16. Yeah, 13/16. Get the oil pan on, get the oil pump put back on, all that fun stuff. A little past it, be fine. There we go. And that ought to do. You know, normally I don't give a crap about a torque spec for a lot of things, but bearing, end caps, yeah, probably want to get them torqued right. Head bolts, want to torque that right. I'm gonna clean this crap up and then we'll put the oil pump on. I got a new improved oil pump driver. The original one has a little plastic doohickey, is what retain the original one. This one's got a pin that goes through it that holds it on. Normally, I don't know where the old rod is. This would be where that is, and this there's like a little ridge on the OEM one that snaps into basically. But these become brittle and break and stuff, so for no more money than that cost, it's a good peace of mind. I need to clean the oil pump. I'm reusing the original oil pump because it had really good oil pressure, but before, the new aftermarket ones are questionable. And while I have one, I have a high volume one I picked up at an estate sale. It was brand new in the box, Melling. It's debatable whether you need a high volume one with, you know, just a stock build basically, no crazy power or nothing like that. So I know the original one worked, so we'll put it back in there. All right, we got that kind of cleaned up pretty good. You need to line up your little rod with the oil pump. Here's some little dowels that the seat's on. There it goes. Yep, 65 foot-pound of torque. There's 65. There she goes. I will clean this gasket surfaces up and everything. I need to clean the oil pan too, so we'll be back. We are going to put some gaskets on. So you're gonna start with the timing cover gasket. So in order to keep it on there, we're just gonna put a little, especially up here at the top, down here, just a little dab to hold it in place, basically. Just kind of push that in place, line that up, line that up. All right, there you go, there you go. There are some little dowels, so those help you line up the cover. Oh shit, we forgot to put the front seal in there, so I guess I should do that now that I've put silicone all over this. Trying to tear anything up. The old one was real easy to get out, let me tell you. Yeah, I'm gonna get a 2x4 real quick, or a 4x4. There we go. Front seal's in. The gasket didn't move a whole lot, so that's good. Just clean that up like it never happened. Put a little of that on there. A little of that, a little of this, a little of that. Okie dokie. Lube up that front name, or that seal, although you can do it later or whatever, whenever you put your balancer on. That's there. Your dude here, this doodad goes in here. It's got these little pieces you push through these holes there. Okay. Shellac some of this on here. Just a little something for the gasket to hold on to, you know? Since they are cork gaskets. Not my favorite, but it's what came with the gasket set. I'm too cheap to upgrade or change that, so that's what we got. Who knows if this engine will even survive after I put the cam in it, you know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna work on that side. There we go. Put a little more up here, more slicky cone where it meets the oil pan there. That works pretty good to hold that gasket in place. And then this goes on the rear. I should have put that on before I put the gasket on, but that's okay. It's alright, it'll be okay. This presses down into that cap. You want to make sure it's seated in there. Yeah, you'll feel it. There's some resistance and you'll feel it kind of positively like push in. So anyway, yeah, this is a brand new engine now. It's got a new cam in it, so that makes it rebuilt, right? By the Facebook Marketplace standard, that is correct. Fresh low end. Well, the gaskets are fresh on the low end, so that makes it a fresh low end. Okay, that's gonna wrap up the engine preparation, whatever you want to call it, for this series. So next we'll move on to pulling the engine out of this beautiful truck, because tomorrow I'll get the truck in place so we can go ahead and start doing that. Push it over to the lift or something so I can actually use my lift to unbolt everything on the bottom. Yeah, good times, good times. If you're not doing it twice, probably not doing it right.